You're tuned in to Rebooting Liberty.
Have you ever wanted to have your own radio show? Rebooting Liberty Radio Network currently has openings for live programs. For a very small fee, we will create a show intro, bumper music, and provide technical production for your hour-long show. Email producer@rebootingliberty.com for details. You can find us at live.rebootingliberty.com.
Welcome to Commonsense Coalition Talk Radio, where you'll find straight talk from people with good old common sense.
I trust your opinion.
And now, for your host, she's putting sense back into nonsense.
Absolute insanity.
Well, you can hear me on the radio. You want to turn me on, turn on your stereo. You can sing along while they're playing our song. How you done me wrong, baby, crank it up.
And now, your host, Beth Ann.
And I welcome you today to CSC Talk Radio. It is my honor, my privilege, and my pleasure to be here with you today. You know, we've been saying for a long time, don't be scared, be prepared. A slogan we've used for investing in diversification of your gold and your silver and your other options. And in the wake of the recent terror attacks but this time in Paris, we must be reminded that we should not be scared, but we must be prepared. Your finances are important every day, but the uncertainty of tomorrow became very real as we watched the citizens of Paris succumb to terror. Terror, the acts are bringing you to your knees. That's what they want to do. To make you stop living your life as you normally would, to fear your every move, be it a vacation or traveling, even shopping at the mall this coming Christmas season. Will America bow to the terrorists and give up our liberty and freedom? Being prepared involves many aspects of our lives. Winter is coming. You got to store up your food. Always prepare for a disaster as best you can with extra food, extra water, candles, etc. You know, the heat, alternative heat options. Financially prepare. First, we must get out of debt. Second, diversify storing up the gold and silver coins. If disaster strikes again on our homeland, as it has already, financially things will more than likely plunge. Today, we've got Melody Cedarstrom back with us of Discount Gold and Silver Trading, and she's a good friend, and we've come to know her. It seems like it's new, but she's been with us about almost 3 years now. Don't be scared. Be prepared. Yeah, I'm going to sign you up another year. That'll make it a little more. Don't be scared. Be prepared. Now, see, I've got it out there on the. You have to commit. We welcome you today, Melody.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, you know, we've seen an awful lot. I just had a repairman leave the office. I've been involved with getting a copy fax machine repaired all morning, and which sets me back a ways. But we were talking about the events and the things that are going on and what I was going to talk about today on the show. And, he says, well, you don't lack for things to talk about the last couple of weeks. And he said, or a couple of years. I said, oh, it's been a long time since we've lacked for a topic of conversation, unfortunately. I'm still kind of glued to the TV and to the news on all this going on in Paris. And, of course, they caught some bad guys last night. That's just the tip of the iceberg, though. And I'm sure that you're involved in it, too. But financially, it's causing a buzz around the world.
Well, there's a lot of things that are going around financially around the world, and I just want to make it a point. You're right. You know, they want us to change our habits. They want us to fear. They want us to stop doing things and so forth in a way to lose our liberties and our freedoms. But it's not. I don't think that people are so much affecting their own liberties. It's what governments do when they when they take advantage of a crisis that happens. And we've certainly seen France has already admitted that they're going to be changing their constitution in order to go after terrorism and so forth. And so, it's a dangerous slope. It's very slippery. And it just goes to show, folks, it's so important to be prepared, because you just can never... all things can happen. All things will happen. You don't know how the markets are going to react. We still have problems here at home. And I think our problems here at home are far more serious than some of the terrorism that is going on. Not to take away from that. But these... It is terrible. We certainly see our trade agreements. You had the G20 meeting this weekend. You have Obama off in the Philippines talking trade, trying to promote his TPP, and it's so that part still continues as far as the demise of our own economy here in the States. As terrible, and I was watching those events on Friday night. I finished the program at 5 o'clock Eastern time, and quit work at 6 and turned on the news. I can't get away from news. I do watch what mainstream does because it's important, because you kind of gets to know what your enemy is doing. I followed it through, and it is frightening. It's terrible, and.
And to watch, like you said, watch what they're saying. Now, we're going to pick on President Obama just a little bit, or I am. But some of the things he was saying the other night upset me, not because of the policy that he's taking so much. I mean, I guess I don't like it, but that wasn't what was upsetting me. It was the arrogance in what he was saying. And let me get it straight here, because I was watching him in this press conference, and he got very angry and impatient with the reporters.
Same one I watched.
And he says, what I'm not interested in doing is posing or pursuing some notion of American leadership or America winning. Now, that statement makes an awful lot clear to me. Why would and he even later he said he called some of the chatter that's going around about America being a leader in all this, he called it nonsensical talk. So where is he when it comes to standing with America? Obviously, I'm not military wise. I don't know what the right or the wrong thing to do is. I know that we need to take a leadership in this regardless, because we are a leading nation, or we once were. So if you don't join in, you're not going to know what's going on. You need to at least be a part of it, and wouldn't it be best to be the leader? Now, that's just looking at it simplistically, but to say that this pursuing some notion of America leadership or America winning, that kind of sounds like he doesn't plan on us winning anything.
I didn't watch that whole press conference that he had in Turkey, but what the little I did catch truly was shocking. The arrogance, the down talk. He continued to confirm that, handling of these Syrian refugees is compassion, and his words continue to come back and haunt him, because, he was talking about women and children. How can you deny widows and orphans? And yet this morning there was a woman who had on a bomb and blew herself up.
Yes, she did.
And so it's, he continues, and you're right about the arrogance, and you're right about, you sometimes you just have to drop politics and lead, and it's the reporter that I saw that was covering the story, when he got done with his conference, this reporter was angry. It was disbelief.
These are some of them that have been on his side.
Yes. I mean, it is just disbelief of what he is saying. It's like this man is so out of touch with reality. But the big question is it by choice or is he really
one of them? It's either he's totally incompetent or he just doesn't care or he's one of them.
He's one of them.
And
there's no doubt about it.
It's like either way, America is in danger. We've got to do something, and we need to wake up and be involved, and we need to not be prepared, not be scared, but be prepared. I said that backwards. But we're going into a break. We have to do those things. The number to call is 877-895-5410. You can visit with Melody right here, right now at 877-895-5410, and we will be right back.
Are you a David? There are wolves, sheep, and sheepdog, and then there are shepherds. Just as young King David faced the impossible battle with the feared giant Goliath, we face giants today as well. Do we run or do we stand our ground? Our federal government is the epitome of corruption. Abuse of power and deceit have enslaved we the people. Property rights are non-existent. Gun owners are treated as terrorists. Citizens are plundered and reaped of rights and liberties. Is there a solution? Yes, you are the solution. You, the patriotic, the local peace officer, you, the elected official, the county sheriff. You must stand with faith, humility, and the strength of a warrior, as young David did. You are the solution. Order the book, Are You a David by Sheriff Mack. Go to csctalkradio.com or send $15 to P.O. Box 73, California, Missouri 65018. Be a shepherd in your community. csctalkradio.com.
Gold and silver have been the foundation of wealth for individuals and nations the world over. The history of man is packed with coins, jewelry, and artifacts that have spoken to the intrinsic value esteemed in gold and silver due to their rarity, durability, and usefulness. I'm proud to call Melody Cedarstrom a friend and honored Discount Gold and Silver Trading is a loyal sponsor of CSC Talk Radio, a Christian company founded on the principles of truth and honesty. Melody provides quality products, quality service, and competitive pricing. Let Melody's over 20 years of experience in gold and silver trading be your investment guide. From precious metals purchases to precious metals IRA. Whether you want to buy or sell, Melody and her team at Discount Gold and Silver will assist you and make sure you get the best deals possible. Call Melody and tell her thank you for sponsoring CSC Talk Radio, and then let her know you want her to be your gold and silver dealer. Visit Melody online at dgscoins.com or just give her a call at 1-800-375-4188. That's 1-800-375-4188. You stroll out to the barn to check on those calves, kids, or lambs, and at first glance, you know something is not right. A weak kid, a calf who cannot nurse, or a ewe who does not have enough colostrum for her newborn lambs. Your role switches from caretaker to rescuer. In these situations, minutes count. Having the right products on hand is vitally important. Visit the animal care category at HambyDairySupply.com to stock up on your medical needs. At Hamby Dairy Supply, they understand because their family has been raising livestock since 1954. With their years of experience, they can help you with your needs, including planning for those livestock emergencies. Visit HambyDairySupply.com for colostrum, Energy Plus energy supplements, Formula 911, and Arrest Drench products. Stock up today and be prepared. HAMBY DairySupply.com or give them a call at 1-800-306-8937. Listening to CSC Talk Radio. This is Beth Ann. We're visiting today with Melody Cedarstrom. I started out, it's a slogan. I'm going to do a new spot for you. It's a slogan that Melody started, I think, the very first day you were on. I'm not sure, but it was right early in our relationship. Don't be scared, be prepared. And that is in every aspect of our lives. And I fight that every day, because we listen to this news every day. I fight other things in business every day. And, some things are scary. Well, you just have to be prepared and not be scared and push forward. And so it's kind of a slogan that has stuck in my brain. Maybe it's because it rhymes. You know, when they rhyme, it makes makes it stick a little bit better. But we're talking about the things that are going on across the world. But in particular, you mentioned how things are here in the United States. Now, before Paris, and that's all we've seen now, is this terror. And, of course, yesterday evening, 2 planes were diverted. Two Air France flights from the U.S. were diverted because of bomb threats. That is terror. Nothing was found, and they were given the okay. But that's part of the terror. You know, they made you stop, made you look. Remember when you played that when you were a kid? Made you look. You know, you tell a little fib, made you look.
You dirty crook.
Made you look, you dirty crook. Yeah. And, you know, you played those games as a kid to try and fool one another. Well, and then, of course, the little boy that played wolf. And one day the wolf was there, and no one would listen. So, will we not pay attention when we have all these, and then one day the terror will be here? Well, we've already had terror on this land. We had the Boston bombing. We had 9/11. We've had other things that have taken place. We had the taking out of our military there at the recruiting office there in Tennessee, I believe it was. And it goes on and on. We've had it. It's just not being called what it truly is. And I wanted to read this to you because I'm a Putin fan. I'm not a Putin fan, but it's a sad day in America when you're listening to a foreign leader and thinking, man, I like the way he talks. And you listen to your own leader and you think, what? America doesn't want to win? What? America doesn't want to be a leader? That's not America. Well, this is the words of Vladimir Putin. If minorities prefer Sharia law, then we advise them to go to those places where that's the state law. Russia does not need minorities. Minorities need Russia. And we will not grant them special privileges or try to change our laws to fit their desires, no matter how loud they yell discrimination. So what have we been seeing here in the United States of America? I have another article about assimilation that France has failed to, with these new citizens coming in, to make them assimilate. And we're doing the same thing here. Now, I was trying to say that we don't, but we have done the same thing here, where all of a sudden everything has to be in 2 or 3 different languages. We have to be sensitive to their culture and this and that. You know, and people say, well, I have nothing against Muslims. Well, I don't either. But they cannot practice Sharia law on this land any more than we can practice our constitutional law on their land across the sea. And you know, these things they're upsetting the apple cart because it's not the way things should be. Now, I don't believe in discrimination. I don't believe you should be picking on one another, but I do believe in assimilation. I believe becoming a part of whatever country you join. So those who have come in across this land illegally, that's exactly what they are. They're illegal. They're not assimilating. They don't want to obey the laws. They started out breaking the laws. Those who are faithful in little will also be faithful in much. And they're not. Now, I don't want to just get off on that because I want to bring it back to what's going on with the financial end of it. But this all affects the finances. Go ahead.
I just want to say something there. And you're absolutely correct. But the problem is the people in this country, they have been so conditioned over the period of such a long time. I mean, this problem has been going on for a really long time. It's not a new problem. It isn't a 3-year problem, 4-year problem, 8-year problem. It's a 20, 30-year problem. And people, as you say, we've allowed, and government has allowed for them to come in here thinking that they're allowed to do this instead of putting down. Now we want to put down and we want to draw the line in the sand and say that's enough. You know, this has got to change because we're being, we see what is happening. We're getting the results of it. It's coming to the head of what happens when people come into the country and they don't do as the Romans do. But this has been going on for a really, really long time. But the people have been conditioned to accept it, because and it was just always pushed under the rug. It was never discussed. It was never, it wasn't to the point where it was a problem. Now we're having the problems, and but you are absolutely correct, and you're right. It's sad to see, that we're listening to Putin and saying, "Gee, I wish our leaders would say that." And it's not just the president; it's the rest of the bunch too. Where are these Republican guys? Where's the Tea Party? Where are all these politicians out there who stand up, call themselves conservatives, and say all this stuff just to get elected, and then they just disappear? Where's their mouth? Where's their voice? You don't hear them, do you?
One thing I had to say last night, we've got a caller. I'm going to go to that in just a second. I looked at my husband. I said, oh, my gosh. I said, I'm going to have to rethink all I'm thinking because I can't believe I'm agreeing with this woman, and that is Feinstein. Feinstein was talking. I looked at her and go, oh my gosh, what's up with this? Because she's saying we can't vet these people. We can't. We know that. She says, I'm scared. I see the stuff that's coming across. And she didn't come right out and say she disagreed with the president, but she's saying she's scared. And I'm thinking, I'll bet she's not prepared either. We're going to go to John from Missouri. John, what's on your mind today?
Good morning. I was watching old C-SPAN videos that people download all kinds of stuff to YouTube. And
yeah, they do.
Are you there?
Yes, sir, I am.
Oh, well, I was watching this and there was a congressman on there back whenever they were debating the original war in Iraq back in 1990, 91.
Interesting.
And he was talking about how that if we're not careful, we're going to destabilize the whole Middle East, cause civil wars, and cause the rise of radical extremists, even more so than we're already there. And again, when they were leading up to the war in Iraq, that did overthrow Iraq and destabilize the whole region and create this problem, he was talking about that. And he predicted just exactly what was going to happen. We were going to destabilize the region and perhaps collapse other governments around it.
What senator was that?
That was Bernie Sanders.
Interesting.
In defense, Ron Paul was also saying the same thing.
Yes, he has been for a long time, and I think Bernie mentioned.
Bernie Sanders has been very consistent, also.
He did mention that in the debate the other night. He did mention that he said that back then, and and I think Melody probably on board with this too. I remember when we went into Iraq, and I'm shaking my head. I'm thinking Iraq had nothing to do with 9/11. Why are we going to Iraq?
Oh, people still think it did, though.
That's
we went to Iraq because of a conspiracy of lies. Yes. It was a thing for the Project for a New American Century, which had the plan to destabilize and overthrow these Middle Eastern governments. But their plan was to put in puppet governments, and that just, it
didn't happen.
Yeah, it was kind of a failed armed robbery deal.
Yeah, I appreciate the call, John.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
It's we have created this mess, and that's one reason we need to take the lead now to try and deal with it. And if you want to, if he thinks what he's doing is correct, then he needs to take the lead on that. But he's just doing nothing.
Yeah.
And, that's, if you could halfway understand if he really believed in what he was doing, he'd take the lead in what he's doing. But he's not. He's doing nothing.
That is correct. And, it's so important now because we do have states that are at least standing up and saying, hey, no more. We don't want these refugees. We don't, and some of the states are saying, well, you have to prove who they are and so forth, documentation and so forth. Now's the time to support the states, the governors that are standing up to it. It's time to support them, call them, and tell them, do not back down.
That's exactly what we said yesterday. You must have listened to the show yesterday. We were on that yesterday about the governors and gave the, we gave the number for the Missouri governor. And but I'm wondering if it's going to do any good because Obama said it doesn't matter what they say. We have the jurisdiction. So what's going to happen? We need to stand our ground and we need to make our voices heard. The Republic We're not a republic if the republic isn't active, and that's what's been going on for a very long time. We've not been active. We've left everything in the hands of D.C. occupiers, occupying offices and cutting deals and making wars for profit. We're going into a break. You can visit Melody's website by going to dgscoins.com. That's dgscoins.com, or their office number is 1-800-375-4188. That's 1-800-375-4188, or call us right here, right now at 877-895-5410. And Melody and Beth Ann will be right back.
CJ Hadley brings us all home on the range as she continues to fight bureaucrats and educate all. CJ is offering her 3 best and calling it her trifecta offer. It includes 5 quarters of Range Magazine, her newest hardbound book, Brush Strokes and Balladeers, Painters and Poets of the American West, plus her real Buckaroo calendar, all for only $40. It's CJ's trifecta package. CJ Hadley is a patriot, educating the masses with her Range Magazine. 5 quarters of Range Magazine, Brush Strokes and Balladeers, and her real Buckaroo calendar. Plus a special bonus. Add $10 and CJ will throw in another one of her great books, Call of the Cow Country. The trifecta for $40 and the trifecta plus for $50. Order now. Go to rangemagazine.com or give them a call at 1-800-RANGE-4U. That's 1-800-726-4348. Tell them Beth Ann sent you.
Are you frustrated with your current job? Not making the type of money that you know you are worth? Is it time for a change? Maybe it's time you considered starting your own home-based business. Autopilot Marketing has helped thousands of people just like you get started working from home. Whether it's an extra $250 to $500 per month part-time or a 6-figure full-time income, anything is possible. You don't need any special skills or experience. Anyone can succeed with Autopilot Marketing. Take our free video tour and find out if this opportunity is right for you. Go to income23.com now. That's income, the number 23.com. Take our free video tour today and start earning money as early as next week. Go to income23.com. That's income, the number 23.com.
Alexis de Tocqueville once stated, "America is great because she is good. If America ceases to be good, America will cease to be great." To know where we are going, we must remember from whence we came. Looking back in our American history, we can see the hand of God. He wrought many miracles in our nation and brought us through much to be a nation under Him, a nation under God. We've forgotten from whence we came. America has lost her greatness. America ceases to be good because we've forgotten our God, who is all that is good. Sue and Bill Federer have compiled 32 truths, which in our history show the hand of God, His answered prayers, His miracles, and His mercy on our nation. For only $22, Miracles in American History will encourage and uplift you. Order Miracles in American History. Send $22 to CSC Talk Radio, Post Office Box 73, California, Missouri 65018, or order online at csctalkradio.com.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
To get your free inventors information, call 1-800-351-9820. That's 1-800-351-9820. Again, 1-800-351-9820.
have returned. You're listening to CSC Talk Radio. This is Beth Ann. I'm visiting today with our good friend Melody Cedarstrom of Discount Gold and Silver. You can visit their website by going to dgscoins.com. That's dgscoins.com. You can also go to my website and just click on the icon, and it'll take you straight to her website. We've just got it all circled around there, Melody. You can give them a call in their office at 1-800-375-4188. That's 1-800-375-4188. But right here, right now, she's with me, and you can visit at 877-895-5410. Well, I had a little thing from some interview that Forbes has made, and he was talking about the attacks and the sinking global economy. And I was going to try and get your opinion on what's going on. We talked a little bit about that in the first segment of the show. But it's more important now. And, Christmas is coming up. So the gold and the silver will make a great Christmas gift to somebody that you don't know what to get them. And so that's a good idea. Or maybe give yourself, because you've not given yourself anything all year long. So I just wanted to kind of get your opinion on, all this that's going on. Like I said, I know we talked a little bit about it in the first segment. But the economy is in bad shape globally. And we know that things are unstable. And that's, like I said, when we opened up, first we've got to get out of debt. That's easier said than done for a lot of us. And then we have to start diversifying, and we need to invest in gold and silver. So I wanted to hear your take on what's going on and what you suggest right now for people to do. Maybe they're just getting started. Maybe they've been at it for a while. Maybe they've been in and been out. And what do you suggest?
Well, I think what's going on around the world, I think with the big drop in oil prices, it really hasn't helped anyone. I think it has devastated a lot of areas more so than actually helped. People, the few dollars that they're actually saving on the gasoline prices really hasn't done anything, hasn't really filtered into, much of the consumer spending. You might see restaurants doing a little bit better, maybe bars and so forth. But truly, as a whole, people, there's just not enough savings in that gasoline to really do much. You have a lot of these emerging markets that really depended on those higher oil prices. You're seeing these emerging markets just tank. They're just in so much trouble. They're all bankrupt. They all have all these loans they can't pay now. They can't pay their social programs. We know about Europe, the Eurozone. We know that, they're all just basically on the brink, and what's happening now in France, I'm sure, isn't going to help them. Mario Draghi stands, ready to apply more stimulus. How many more trillions do you have to apply to get your economy to work? Yeah. You have the same thing going on with Japan, and certainly all the reports coming out of China is not as rosy as what our government will make you believe. So there are serious problems around the world. The world was built up to a degree, and it just can't be sustained. And it's really as simple as that. Here at home, our social programs, the government has basically stolen our money out of Social Security. But yet, whenever you hear, them, complain about the social benefits, it's never welfare, it's never food stamps, it's never anything else. It's always that Social Security that's the bad guy.
Or Medicare.
That's because they stole from us.
Yeah.
They stole people's money out of the Social Security.
And, I don't believe, they keep calling it an entitlement, but Social Security is not really an entitlement because people have invested. That is their money they put in there in good faith. And, of course, now you don't have an option. And you can opt out. Yes, you can. There are those that got wise and did that. But, it's not that in and of itself is not an entitlement. That is something that people have personally invested in.
Well, I think some people do get Social Security that never put much in it, it's just another term, where they apply for Social Security and they get it based on whatever, problems that they have. But it is, but the majority of it, people put in over these years. And you're right, it is not an entitlement. It's not a benefit. People paid, and we expected something out of it, and it's not there. It's broke. It's
we didn't expect others who didn't put in to get out either.
That's true.
And now that what they've done is they've robbed Peter to pay Paul, which doesn't ever work. We know that. So they've taken out of the Social Security to give to Social Security Disability, which, has been increased. Everybody can seem to be on a disability, and that in and of itself is a business. You watch the commercials at night, and you've got special lawyers just for that. They'll get you on Social Security disability. You deserve that. And it's like I understand that we have people that need to be taken care of, and nobody is against that. But we have an abuse of it going on in this nation, and that is an entitlement.
And so things are not going to turn around. There's not a light at the end of the tunnel. So people do have to take care of themselves. And I know that's an odd concept in this country anymore, but people have to make decisions. And you are going against the stream of everything. And it's not good to own gold and silver. That's what they tell you. Why would you want to own that? They need to have you in paper, and it really is as simple as that. Wall Street finances the destruction of this country, but yet people open up their pocketbooks by their monthly donations to Wall Street through their pensions and retirement accounts, and they've destroyed our country. They finance the destruction of our country along with Washington, and it will not get better. It cannot get better until the system is purged. It has to be cleaned out. And if there's anything that could set it off. So, yes, people do have to take care of themselves financially. You can be diversified. If you have to have some paper, that's okay. Just offset it. Get the insurance. Insure your paper assets with gold and silver. And there's a lot of confusion out there. There's a lot of gold and silver analysts out there who talk about buying gold, but then they only want you to own like a small fraction of gold, like 5 to 10%. That's Wall Street thinking. And then they'll throw you in other gold paper, like paper shares, like mining shares, and why don't you store some items over in Singapore? It's just crazy. So there is a lot of misinformation out there, and I do believe it has hurt the gold and silver market. So you want to keep things simple, you want to keep things basic, and you want to take physical delivery of your gold and silver. If you have an IRA and you want to hold it, just be aware of the risk. And, of course, that risk is storing your metals in a depository. And but you can withdraw it if you are able to take your yearly withdrawal from that. You can take your gold from the IRA. So it's not the perfect situation, but it's more perfect than holding paper. So as long as you know your risk, you can always address the risks and prepare for it. And I think starting out, we have all kinds of packages, Beth Ann's packages that she has listed on her website. Even though gold and silver prices have dropped, Morgan silver dollars are still up there holding their strength. The 1/10 ounce American Gold Eagles, that package was priced so cheap, so inexpensive, so competitively that even through the down price, it's still, I can do them $5 less. So if you want to adjust your price, so that's how good they were priced. The same way with and that package included a 1/10 ounce American Gold Eagle coin, 20 Morgan silver dollars. It included the subscription to the pen and included your shipping costs. Very good prices in order to get you started. The key thing is you have to get started.
Well, I was trying to write that down. You said $5 less, so that puts it where now? I was running to my website and I didn't get it.
$730.
$730. I was thinking it was $35 earlier. Okay, $730.
And if the prices reverse here shortly, which I think they will, it's going to be right back to $735. So.
Okay. So they need to make the calls, 1-800-375-4188 for the Beth Ann package, and that's a perfect package for you to do for Christmas. You can take those 20 silver coins and you can divide them up. You don't have to give them all to one person. You can divide them up. Get somebody started that hasn't started in their silver just yet. You're listening to CSC Talk Radio, 877-895-5410, and we will be right back.
A girl needs accessories. So does a website these days. It's not enough to have just one accessory either. CSC Talk Radio is excited to announce we have an app for that. You can now listen to CSC Talk Radio easily on your smartphones, Android or iPhone. We have an app for that. Share this app-portant news with your friends and family. They can now join in the Common Sense. Calling all patriots. We have an app for that. Visit csctalkradio.com and download the app. Listen to live streaming or the show's podcast designed for Triple L. Listening later leisurely. Accessories are necessary. Join CSC Talk Radio on your phone. We've accessorized. Visit csctalkradio.com and download the app. Working with technology to bring America home. We have an app for that. csctalkradio.com. csctalkradio.com.
BioAg, working with nature naturally. Murray Bast has been my guest several times here on CSC Talk Radio. You know now he's devoted to helping farmers and ranchers. Murray is my common sense voice for improved agriculture. Farmers and ranchers are vital to any nation. Our food and how it's grown is more than just planting a seed, slopping the hogs, or feeding the cows. There's a science to it, and it takes a special kind of people. Since 1982, their mission has been to produce and supply products and services that warrant and support true sustainable agriculture. BioAg is a major supplier of natural products and services for livestock and crop production. Become a BioAg distributor. BioAg consultants and distributors are devoted. BioAg.com has all the products you need to improve your bottom line as well as improve your products and health. Visit bio-ag.com or call them at 1-800-363-5278. That's 1-800-363-5278.
Did you know that whether you're making a phone call, texting a friend, or checking email, you can be making a difference for CSC Talk Radio? That's right. When you sign up for wireless service from our friends at Affinity 4, not only do you receive affordable rate plans with nationwide coverage on one of America's largest wireless networks, you'll also be supporting CSC Talk Radio through Affinity 4's Give Back program. Affinity 4 Wireless offers a variety of phones from leading manufacturers, and you can choose from individual and shared plans to meet your needs. And you can keep your same phone number. Call 1-800-311-2021 today and let the Affinity 4 customer service team help you select the best plan and phone for your needs. And remember, when you sign up for any of Affinity 4's products and services, a portion of the proceeds will be donated back to CSC Talk Radio. Don't wait. Call today, 1-800-311-2021, and ask about their current wireless promotions, including a free month of service and free phone offers. That's 1-800-311-2021.
Going once, going twice, sold to the highest bidder. Has the U.S. been sold out by those we've trusted to guard, protect, and help this nation prosper? Selling U.S. Out is a nonpartisan examination of the trade and economic policies that brought about the current economic crisis. It is receiving great reviews from Americans across the social and political spectrum. Beth is proud to call J.R. Martin a friend, and she's thrilled he's provided his book for you. CSC Talk Radio listeners, we speak about communism, socialism, but what about corporatism greed? What did free trade accomplish? NAFTA? GATT? CAFTA? Why is American productivity and our own industries failing? Why are we losing American businesses and American jobs? J.R. Martin has generously made his book available so that Beth can offer it to you at a discounted price. Nearly 400 pages packed with powerful information and years of research. We have to know the truth in order to turn this mess around. Send $15 to P.O. Box 73, California, Missouri, 65018. That's selling U.S. out. $15 to P.O. Box 73, California, Missouri, 65018.
Have returned. You're listening to CSC Talk Radio. This is Beth Ann visiting today with Melody Cedarstrom. We're in the final segment of today's show. We were talking about the package you were offering, and I went to my website, and we had the other package with the a quarter ounce gold, too. Mm-hmm. Would that also be $5 cheaper? Because that's a quarter ounce of the Gold Eagle, 20 Morgans, and the subscription and shipping and handling for $9.15. So would that be $9.10?
Yes,
okay.
We can do that, yes.
Okay, I was just checking if that one was still available because I've got it on the website, so...
Yes, like I said, if prices turned around, they would move back up. But the Morgans have been very steady at the price where they're listed, and we've seen pressure on gold. But when you're dealing with the fractional pieces, gold really has to move, quite a bit for it to make a big difference on the fractional pieces. So that's why you don't see much change, and that's why I like to do the specials with fractional pieces, because gold can move up and down, and it doesn't really affect the price that much. So they don't have to be constantly, changed. But whether it goes up or it all averages out. So yeah, that's another reason why I like to have fractional pieces in portfolios, because you don't have big changes in those when you have moves in gold. You can have sometimes in your fractional pieces, for it to make any difference by the time you round, up or down, gold has to move $20 for it to make any, and then it's just a small change, because again, you're dealing with fractional pieces.
So anyway, I was thinking too, because I've done this in the past as well, where I've bought a package and then I've distributed it. I've used the silver pieces and even the gold to give as gifts, and at Christmas, rather than to go out and buy another shirt or another, what do they call them, fold-out chairs or something, for the guys, for the kids, another flashlight in the stocking. So, something that has value that they can put away, and you've instantly helped them start putting back. You've instantly helped them start their gold and silver investment. I think it's a good idea. I have people all the time who buy for Christmas, birthdays, anniversaries. It's a great little gift that people can purchase. You're giving them real money. People give money anyway at Christmas. You get gift cards and so forth. Well, why not give them real money? Yeah, you write a check. Just put some gold or silver in the package, wrap it up with a pretty bow, and you've got a good deal.
So, yes, folks can give us a call at 800-375-4188. Everything is changing so quickly. And I do believe when the system purges that we'll wake up one day and we'll wake up to a brand new world. And I don't think people will have time to really position themselves to protect themselves, because it is going to happen very rapidly. And I do believe what happened in France over this weekend, I do believe that is a change in the game. But what's going to change? You already have the French president saying he's going to continue the 30,000 new arrivals of refugees. What's it's changing? There isn't anything. What he's going to do is he's going to change their constitution to reflect terrorism. They're going to step up the military presence, the police presence. That means it's more of a police state and everything else in order to accommodate the 30,000 refugees that the UN insists these countries have to take. So it's a new world, and people have to prepare themselves for it, and to prepare, because their last step in their goal, I believe, in this completion of the New World Order will have to be to crash the financial systems.
So what do you think? We talked briefly about what the governors are going to do. Do you see that as something that's going to stand? I know that some of the congressmen are going to fight this a little bit there in Congress about bringing in these refugees. But I see this as being a big, not only a physical threat to the nation, but an economic threat.
Absolutely, but the problem is with the governors and some of these, it's all lip speak. They talk it, but what's their plan? How are they going to? It's one thing to say, no, we're not taking any, but what are you going to do after that? What are you going to do when the trucks bring them in and start placing them in neighborhoods? Are these governors going to have a plan to, eject them out of their states? Governors saying one thing, these states are saying one thing, but what's their plan? How are they going to reject it? What happens? They're going to have to stand up and say no. And I haven't heard of something beyond that point, but perhaps you have, or, someone else have.
I think it's been lip service so far. They're trying to, they're trying to act like they're making a stand. I think there should be an alternative solution, and I don't understand why nobody's thinking of it. These countries that are doing this, why can't they get together and for a lack of a better word, find a safe space for these refugees?
One of my clients had the best idea ever. He says, China has a lot of ghost cities. Put them in China in these ghost cities.
China's not taking any, are they?
No, but they have all these cities that are empty.
Yes, they do.
They built all these cities that they don't have one person. There's shopping centers built. There's malls built. There's all kinds of things in order. Put them in.
Well, that's not a bad idea.
They're in the middle of the desert. They're in the middle of nowhere.
But I was thinking, we could provide provisions. The countries that are wanting to help these refugees could go together and provide provisions and do something like that. I hadn't thought about shipping them to China on the ghost cities. I hadn't thought of that.
I thought it was a great idea.
It's not a bad idea, but I don't think you're going to get China to go along with it. They have to be a willing participant, and I don't think that they're a willing participant. Not sure who can arm wrestle them into that.
And neither should we.
No, we shouldn't be. And it's not a matter of trying to be prejudiced. It's a matter of trying to protect our children, our grandchildren, our neighborhoods, our communities. And I don't see the leadership willing to do that. They're willing to take a risk so that they look humanitarian. Well, you're not humanitarian if a whole bunch of people get slaughtered in the process.
And it's not like these are Christians that are leaving Syria. I don't understand.
Some of them are, but the majority are not. Some of them are, but the majority
Some of them are, but the majority is not. So I don't understand why they're helping them. There's refugees everywhere. There's people in countries all over the Middle East that don't like where they're living. And we don't extract them, so.
And we're out of time, but
I keep them right where they're at.
I like where I'm living, and I'd like to keep it safe. And so that's what I'm voting for, is to keep it safe. We're out of time. Melody, thank you so much for all that you do.
Thank you.
Check out those packages. They're on my website until I get it changed. You just have to subtract $5 from it. Give her a call at 1-800-375-4188. That's 1-800-375-4188. Don't be scared. Be prepared. Don't allow the terrorists to rule your life. You need to take charge. You need to take the lead and bring America home.
Complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number.
Call 877-959-MY-TV.
The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. So cancel the cable and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money.
Call 877-959-MY-TV.
Right now to sign up for packages starting as low as $24.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $24.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card.
Call 877-959-MY-TV. That's 877-959-MY-TV.
Cancel the cable. Cut costs and get more.
Call 877-959-MY-TV. That's 877-959-MY-TV.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names.
Really?
They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
If you're struggling to find reliable senior living information for your mom or dad, then call to get the free help you need during this turbulent time. Call now, 800-473-7921, 800-473-7921.
Are you nearing eligibility for Medicare benefits? Then you know now is an important time in your life. Medicare can be a complicated puzzle. The wrong choice can cost you money, and you may be locked into the plan until the annual enrollment period. And the right choice may save you money and maximize your Medicare benefits all year long. Let the Health Markets Insurance Agency help you. With one free phone call, a licensed insurance agent will help you find a Medicare plan that's right for your medical needs and budget. Call now to learn more. 800-342-8981. 800-342-8981. If you're now eligible for Medicare, call today to discuss your options. 800-342-8981. 800-342-8981. Health Markets Insurance Agency is a DBA or assumed name of InSphere Insurance Solutions Incorporated, which is an authorized insurance agency in all 50 states and the District of Columbia. Not all agents are licensed to sell all products. Service and product availability varies by state.
You're listening to Rebooting Liberty Radio Network. Compelling and entertaining talk.
Don't touch that dial.